Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. My name is Pips, co-founder of PropsMadness and professional sports bettor. We have a 9 game slate, some great games, some not so great games. So let's dive in straight away. First game on the board, Jazz against the Wizards. Ultimate 10 commander game. First game on the board. So let's dive in. Uh, on the side of the Wizards, almost everyone is out. CJ traded, Alex are out, Keishan George out, then bunch of guys, weird guys. But overall, we can see most of these guys are out or not on the team anymore. So yeah, tough one. But we have Trey Young making a debut tonight. First game back. I expect him to play between 18 to 22 minutes. So that's why these lines are set so low. Yeah, not much there. I would maybe like this over 5.5 assists. I got it in at minus 120 earlier, but minus 145 or worse. Definitely not a fan of it. So going to skip that. On the side of the Jazz, it's a back-to-back game, so I don't expect Kejonte to play. He's listed as doubtful. Think 90% chance he is out. But from this side, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Cory Williams, this guy is probably the worst player in the entire league. Probably will be true last season. This season we have so much horrible guys getting minutes at the moment, but this one is one of the worst, definitely. But if the value is there, we just need to bet it and hope for the best. And if take a look at the in back-to-back games, that's where he thrives. He covered in every single one. Back-to-back games, four straight, averaging 9.5 points. But the key is he's averaging 27 minutes in back-to-back games, and he recently been promoted to a starter. And with all the guys out, no Markkanen, no Kejonte, no Jaren Jackson Jr., no Walker Kessler, no Nurkic, it's kind of sensible Bailey, Collier, Filipovsky, and Cody Williams getting the minutes, so he could be getting great minutes. If you take a look on the entire season, when he gets 20, like expected minutes are set high, 25-35. But let's do 22 to 32, and then and looking at points and rebounds. For this one, I'll be looking at points and rebounds because he's playing Wizards, and we take a look at the Wizards rebounders. Like to his position, they've been getting crushed lately because they're playing a bunch of scrubs. So when you look at the points and rebounds for Cory Williams, minus 125 wildly available, over 10.5. So first official bet, Cory Williams over 10.5 points and rebounds, minus 125 wildly available. And let's now dive in. So when he gets 22 to 32 minutes, he is averaging 27 minutes on the season and averaging 13 points and rebound, or like close to 13 points and rebounds, but now gets the ultimate best matchup in the league. Looking at the Wizards, they allow the most points and rebounds to his position. They are ranked as second worst defense. They allow the most rebounds overall in the league, second most to his dominant shooting zone, third most to area where he scores 76% of his points, and the rest 21% they are fourth worst. Similar players covering, play types look amazing, shot map looks amazing. Like the perfect matchup for this dude who can do much, but the line is also set as like he can do much. 10.5 line for a guy that's probably going to play like 25 plus minutes tonight. That's just super low. Also, looking at this win rate, 76%. Let's check for the matchup. We can see that two unders came in rough matchups against the Miami Heat, for best defense, and Spurs, who are third best defense in the league. If we exclude just those two, we can see that he's now covering in 12 out of 14 games, averaging 13.3 points and rebounds, and now gets the best matchup in the league. And yeah, that's it, guys. First official bet on the show, Cory Williams over 10.5 points and rebounds. That's it from this game, guys. Got even more than expected. Second game on the board, Mavericks against the Orlando Magic. And for this one, I'll be going to Jalen Suggs. Straight away, firing stuff. This game has a spread of 9 points, could be a blowout, but on the side of the Mavericks, we have potential of Cooper Flag being back. He's questionable. Najee Marshall is probable, and Brandon Williams is probable. So they could have a decent lineup with Cooper Flag, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Max Christie, Brandon Williams, and Daniel Gafford. That could be a lineup that could stay in this game, especially since Orlando Magic are not great either. So, as I said, Jalen Suggs, second official bet on the show straight away, over 12.5 points, pretty much widely available at from minus 123 to minus 125. Every single book has it in that range. We'll probably do what Caesars minus 124 in DraftKings. Promising thing from Jalen Suggs is last two games he played 26 minutes against the Pistons, 26 minutes against the Wizards. Both of these games were interesting because both were blowouts and still he got 26 minutes. So maybe even on a pace to play 30. So in blowouts he got 26. So the floor for this one should be 24, maybe even 26, but I think it still does look great with those minutes. In the entire season when he gets 24 plus minutes, he hit this line in 70% of the games, averaging 15.2 points, and the line is at 12.5 in a matchup that I will consider average. The thing is, looking at the last game, he just had against the Pistons, he just had the season high usage. In that game, we had Franz Wagner out, Anthony Black out. Anthony Black is questionable, could be out again. So Suggs in that game had 17 field goal attempts in 26 minutes, ended up with, as we can see, 34% usage. That's the season high. And yeah, so next game against the Wizards, blowout win. He didn't force stuff. Had 20% usage. So kind of on the season averaging 23% usage, and last two games 34 and 20. So I would say like 17 to 28, 27, probably a good range of the usage for him. Maybe we can do probably like 18 to 28, and in that case he is averaging 23% usage, which is where I expect him to be on the season. And we can see when we put his minutes to 22 or more, covering this in 13 out of 18. And there are some games here, yeah, like he is averaging 29 minutes in those games, covering this line in 72% and averaging almost 15 points a game. Some of these were rough matchups, some were great matchups. So yeah, we can see that he scores actually pretty high percentage of his points from the paint for a guard, for a smaller guard, 35%. So yeah, looking at by PropsMadness, they didn't play lately. So moving to the by points by position, we can see that lately been much more green than the Reds, because this team of Dallas is different every single game. So I don't consider them being a great team anymore. If we take a look on the season, we can see that Dallas ranks as 16th best defense, and they are great against threes, against free throws, against catch and shoot. But if you take a look at the last 15, they are now 7th worst defensive rating. They allow 8th most catch and shoot. They allow a ton of threes and play at the highest pace. So very, very different than looking at the entire season data when they had AD, Cooper Flag, and all of the guys in who are now out. So second official bet on the show, Jalen Suggs over 12.5 points. Moving on to the next game, Warriors against the Rockets. Be cautious about this one. We can see Rockets are having issues with some injuries. Şengün questionable, Amen Thompson questionable, Jabari Smith questionable. Even though Udoka said Jabari Smith should be back, could be a decent spot for KD. I am not buying into this 10 point spread for Golden State. For Houston Rockets, they've been poor lately, barely win against the Wizards, lost against Miami Heat, barely win against Orlando. So, yeah, but this team, Golden State Warrior team, is complete disaster. If you take a look over the last couple of games, they've been losing like hell. Lost by 13 by to Clippers, blown out by Lakers. So if you take a look on the injury report. No Steph Curry, no Jimmy Butler. Kuminga traded, no Porzingis, no Moody. So it's like Melton, Podziemski, Draymond Green, Horford, and yeah, that's a rough lineup. So no, not much for this game. Honestly, I'll skip even this game. These two teams played last game, and it was a huge blowout. So yeah, the lines are pretty high, but these guys had success. Like Bam Adebayo covered this even in a blowout, 24 field goal attempts here. Can bet much here, and on the side of the Brooklyn Nets, we can see Michael Porter Jr. had only 9 points, but look at this shooting, 3 from 17. He got 17 field goal attempts in 27 minutes, so he was on pace to cover if this wasn't a blowout. Just had a horrible shooting night, so yeah. Will be on Nolan Traore if he wasn't benched, so he didn't get the blowout run. He didn't get garbage minute run, so be cautious about this. Previously, he was getting the blowout run. Now they shutting him down as well. Danny Wolf in that game also didn't get blowout runs, which is kind of insane for a young guy. When he gets expected minutes, which is probably 18 to 26 over the last, I don't know, since January 10th. He covered this line in 70% of the games and covered against Miami as well. So slightly in there, but if he's not getting the blowout minutes, I can touch this. Raptors against the Wolves. This is a great game. Let me check the spread. -6. I don't think Wolves should be -6 against the Raptors, but yeah, they played recently, and that game ended up Wolves winning by 2. Yeah, I think Raptors are a good team. So for this one, I'm going to Rudy Gobert, and looking at his points, rebounds, and assists, -125, wildly available. So third official bet on the show, Rudy Gobert under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Why I'm going there? It's because on the entire season he's averaging 24 points, rebounds, and assists in 31 minutes. But let's set expected minutes, which is 28 to 36. Then his average goes up because his minutes go up when we exclude all the games where he played less than 28 minutes. And there are a bunch of games where he played 28 or less minutes. There are 19 games when he got less than 29 minutes. So yeah. But even when we exclude those and set the line at 28 plus 28 to 36, we get 42%, 42 game sample size, and he hit in 50%. But sorry guys, I'm kind of sick. When look at the defense against position, they are 6th best against his position. They allow below average putbacks, and we look at the last 15 games, we can see they are above average paint defense. So yeah, and they are playing at the average pace. So mostly this will be going from, first off, dominant play type, which is putbacks. When he's not facing teams who allow ton of putbacks, we can see that now he covered this in 6 out of 26. But if you go even further and just do top 11 teams, he covered this only 2 games, but they are 11, so he can't do that. Maybe we can just go and look at the average, like let's exclude like bottom 10, and then he only covered in 5 out of 21. And the other way around, if you take a look at the bottom 10, you can see that he covered in every single game. So huge correlation with putback defense, also defense against position. When he's playing teams who are bottom 10 in defense against position, even maybe bottom 8, he's averaging 26 and covering this in 60% of the games. And if it go other way around, if you look at like top 13 teams against his position, we can see that he only covers in 2 out of 13, averaging 21.1 points, rebounds, and assists. And he just played against the Raptors. In that game, he had 24 points, rebounds, and assists, even though they played without Jakob Poeltl. And he's now back. Their defense at the 5 and rebounding at the 5 becomes better. So yeah, he has, if we combine these two, like if he put like this, like removing bottom 10, maybe like bottom 12, and then we have another layer over it, another filter over it. We can see that when we combine defense against putbacks and defense against position, he now covered this in only 3 out of 16 games. And the games when he covered, he played 34, 34, and 35 minutes, which is on the other side of the minutes. So this is our third official bet, Rudy Gobert, under 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Moving on, Pistons against the Spurs. These teams played lately, like 24th of February, which is like 10 days ago. Wemby had a not so great shooting game. 6 from 16, actually went 4 from 11 from 2-pointers. Rough one. But lately we can see he didn't score much. He didn't shoot much as well. Last 3 games we can see that last 4 games he's averaging 10 field goal attempts per game, which is absolute madness. Usage down by 7%, so don't know what's happening with Wemby. So no bets here. Maybe something about Champagne because there is no Harrison Barnes. Without Barnes, everyone else, he should be playing 30 plus minutes. So when he gets 28 plus minutes, we can see that he's averaging 6.8 rebounds a game. Even when we include Wemby and Cornet, he's still averaging 6.9 rebounds. And we have plus money on 5, even plus 109, plus 106. Slightly in, not my bet, just pointing out something. On the Fox side, we can see that last game against the Pistons, he covered this with field goal attempts but didn't score at all. So maybe some lean on this one because, as I said, he had 17 field goal attempts in that game, 23.6% usage. If you take a look on the entire season and he gets the minutes, I mean, he gets the minutes, and when he gets that kind of usage, which is 20+% usage, to up to 30, I will say even up to 28%. I think that should be good. Then he's averaging 15 field goal attempts per game, and he had 17 against them. But in these games, he's averaging 18.8 points a game, and the line is 16.5. If you do it by field goals alone, he gets 17 in that game. If I just do like 14 plus up to, he had 17 there, 14 up to 19, 20 points average. If you do 14 to 18, 19 points average. So yeah, I think this line could be a bit too low considering his usage that game, but Fox not been playing well lately. We can see last 20 games he's averaging 15.8 points a game, stayed under in 13 out of 20. So a rough one to predict here. Last time these two teams played, I bet Keldon Johnson under. No Harrison Barnes now, so he could end up playing a bit more minutes here. Next game on the board, Bulls against the Suns. I wouldn't be surprised if Bulls decide to heavy double Devin Booker. He returned last game, played 31 minutes and scored well. 17 points, 4 threes made, shot horrible from 2. But they won by double digits, so he didn't need to do much there. We can bet this shot breaker, even though the matchup is absolutely amazing, especially if they double team Booker. But I am not touching Jalen Green. Probably am not anymore this season. Bulls side, nothing. Pelicans against the Kings. Pelicans have questionable Trey Murphy, questionable Zion Williamson, and that's affecting every single one. And DeJounte Murray is now out. There is no fierce lines. If they were, I will probably look into them. On the side of the Kings, we can see last 3 games, Maxime Reynaud getting 32, 34, and 36 minutes. And obviously we bet him here and here, where he didn't do great, which is hilarious. But we also bet against the Spurs where he covered. So yeah, nothing horrible happened there. Rebounds, if you take a look at the rebounds, 10 rebounds against the Suns, 24 rebounding chances, 13 against here. So let's look at the double-double, minus 135. yeah, not for me. When he gets 26 plus minutes, looking at double doubles on the season, he's around 50%. Now with everyone out, should be much better. Probably getting 30 plus minutes, and then he does look better. Points at 15 and a half. Yeah, I think that's fair, honestly. Even though the matchup is against the Pelicans, so nothing much there. You can see on the season when he gets 28 plus minutes, he's averaging 15.9. Covered this in only 9 out of 19. I would say this is above average matchup. But let's take a look at the head-to-head games for him. One game, February 10th, he scored 21 points in 38 minutes. Huge minutes here. So definitely leaning over double double, and definitely leaning over points, and yeah, maybe even points and rebounds. When he gets 28 plus, the last couple of games, let's check the usage with so many guys out. Looking at the injury report, no Sabonis, no Lavin, no Keegan Murray. So lately his usage last 3 games pretty consistent between 18 and 20 points. On the season when he got usage between 17 when he gets 17% plus, he covered in every single one. In every single game, he's averaging 22 he's averaging 22 points a game when he gets 17 plus usage. Let's check the 15 plus. That changes a lot. So with 15 plus, he's averaging, let's exclude these high. Let's exclude those over 24% usage. Now with 15 to 24%, he's at 17.8 points a game. So leaning over on Maxi right now, definitely here. But it's such a garbage game that I just don't want to bother with it. On the side of the Lakers against the Nuggets, we remember that insane game last season when JJ Redick took over and held Jokic to 7 field goal attempts and 12 points, which led to the big win for the Lakers. And now, next game, they were tank mode. He ended up scoring 28 in a win. So I don't know, guys. Maybe it's a bet on Jokic under, like 30 and a half under. Expecting huge double teams. They did great defense on him, fronting him and putting 3 guys on him. Looking at the Tim Hardaway Jr. here, yeah, it went south. I bet it at minus 118, I think. So now minus 136. Yeah, that's no area where I will bet. But looking at his minutes when he gets 26-34 minutes this season, covered this in 65% of the games, averaging big 15 points, and I would say matchup is kind of average. So, yeah, like that one on the side of the Lakers. Austin Reeves, not going back to it, especially since we've seen some injury last game. Marcus Smart, maybe decent spot for over 12.5 points, rebounds, and assists. With Luka Doncic, with LeBron James, with Austin Reeves, when he gets 20 plus minutes, he's at 14 points, rebounds, and assist average. The matchup is great. These were horrible matchups against Boston and Orlando. And if we exclude Orlando matchup and Houston Rockets matchup that don't allow catch and shoot, and the pace thing with Boston playing at the lowest pace in the league, then this gets at like he covering 7 out of 9 games with all 3, Doncic, LeBron James, and after he's playing in a favorable matchups, playing 28 minutes, averaging 17 points, rebounds, and assists. So yeah, there is that. But other than that, we can see that last couple of games, not consistent minutes. Here he got 30, but here he got 25, 23, 22. So it's mostly a minutes thing. If he gets more than 25, that should be great. But if he doesn't get more than 25, then it's absolutely horrible on the season with Doncic and LeBron James and Austin Reeves. Not horrible, as you can see, but not great either. Much better if you take a look at the games when he gets more minutes. And I think that's it for this game. And we came to the end of the entire slate. Things not going that great lately. It's been rough part of the season. We just need to try to be positive, try to keep finding great bets. We have 3 today. I think all 3 are great. Hopefully we get finally we get a profitable day on the show, and then see ya tomorrow.